I thought it was really awesome that they were, my first sign coming into basic training at Fort Benning, and I see that poster of them correlating, warriors, with eating plant-based foods. So when I'm going into the defect now, I line up and the lunch lady asks me, or the woman that are serving the food, what do you want? And I asked them if they have any vegan, vegetarian options. And they said, yeah, we have a couple. We have, you can have a black bean burger, or you can have, she said, a black bean burger, no dairy, no dairy, all vegan. And they said, and then we have a quinoa burger. I said, wow, quinoa and black bean. This is my first meal, in basic training. So I said, I want both. I said, I'm vegan, I can have both. And they said, they gave me that. They had some short grain organic brown rice and a whole bunch of vegetables. So all my battle buddies, they're of course, their plates have meats and steak and all types of stuff. And they're looking at me, and I'm having these veggie burgers and a whole bunch of salad and stuff. And then I went to the salad bar. And the salad bar had all the fruits and vegetables were organic, And so they had melons and they had, cherries and berries and it just all types of mixed salad, green spinach and kale. And at that point, I said, wow, I don't, for me, it was like a kid in the candy store or Toys R Us because, being vegan, being plant-based, I'm actually able to, train as a warrior and be fueled by plant-based living. And I don't have to, augment my lifestyle or change my lifestyle. There's foods that I can use here that will fuel me, And so I was at home. As far as the food goes, I was good, And so, I was never dogmatic with my practices. I would just kind of be in my own space, and a lot of my battle buddies would kind of just observe how I would eat, and they, Terrain, man, you're just eating, that's my last name, Terrain, Supa Nova Slom. You're eating just vegetables and stuff, and how, because I'm very muscular, very, muscular and big for a vegan as far as they're concerned, most vegans are very small guys, men, I'm very small. And so they were, how do you maintain the muscle mass? And, so I just share what I eat, I eat, and a lot of calories. I train, moderate to heavy weight and just, share that. And every so often you start seeing more battle blades, adding more fruit, what I'm saying, to their dishes and kind of mimicking what I was doing, and I realized I was having a powerful influence. So that was the basic training experience, again, I was never able to, I was very excited that I was able to, get my basic training on and still nourish myself at a high level. One of the things that is very important in the military when you're training is hydrate, whether you're in basic training or you're in garrison. Garrison is when, you're actually in the duty station. So they always want you to hydrate. Like that's, you can get in trouble if you're not drinking water, so they're really about health and wellness. And I don't really think that the military gets credit like it should, for really, as far as my observation. Remember, this is in 2011, going into 12, when I'm in basic training. And now, 7 years later, plant-based lifestyle is, the hashtag of it is much more popular. Although we have a lot more ways to go with African Americans jumping deeper in it, we still have a lot more celebrities and influencers that are plant-based, going plant-based, a lot of sports people, saying. So now the conversation is more universal and more of our people of color are now getting into it. So this is awesome, but I want to give credit to the service because, it was always there. But I think a lot of brothers and sisters that serve, they have a limited lens when it comes to how to nourish yourself plant-based. Because if you're raised in a city like Los Angeles, Atlanta, Chicago, New York, what helps you is the Trader Joe's, the Whole Foods, and the restaurants, and local health food stores, but the real true plant-based living is kind of approaching someone that lives in Colorado or the Dakotas or Utah, because you're forced to find really whole foods that's really not packaged. So I think I like to inspire people to think about being plant-based based upon eating really whole foods. Finding diverse ways of eating grains and stuff. Because no matter if you're in the cities, that's awesome. But when you travel abroad and you start to move around, you want to take that consciousness with you no matter where you go. And that's how I was able to prosper with my eating modality in my service. So now when I went to Garrison, when I went to from Fort Benning, Georgia, that was my basic training, to Fort Stewart, Georgia, which I was stationed at as I was living. I was married at the time, so me and my wife and our children at the time, we lived on base. And at the time, my wife, she was into, you know, creating foods at home, making food, whole foods at home. So, now I'm in my regular duty station. I come home and she has all these awesome organic meals for me already made. And so when now I'm good, because now I go to work, and everybody's seeing me have these fresh muffins. My wife is making me, vegan pancakes, all these different things, and I'm sharing it with my, my battle buddies and stuff. And now I'm walking around Garrison, the duty station with my super mega greens, some water and a gallon of water. And at first, everybody was like, "What are you drinking? This is strange." Then I would just tell them, it's the plant proteins, it's the greens, the concentrated greens, and I don't have to eat as much because I'm working long hours doing military stuff, and sometimes you don't get to eat a solid meal, between 3 or 4 hours. So how I'm able to nourish myself is, I'm having a liquid meal with the mega greens, and I'm feeding my cells on a cellular level. So I have more endurance. I'm less fatigued. It's perfect for the military because you can be out in the field for sometimes 6 or 7 hours than normally allocated. So you have the whole thing about training and service is endurance. And so you may have to pull long hours and do certain type of long duties, and you may not have all the snacks or foods around you at the time. So what are you doing to maintain those long hours and to fight fatigue and be on post and be on point? So this is how the plant-based lifestyle showed up for me, and how, like what I coined being a wellness warrior. So it's the same concept of training like a warrior for life, for survival, just for living, being strong to live. But being a wellness warrior means that I'm defending my health and wellness regardless of what my job, where my direction may be, where I may be going. I'm a defender of my health and wellness, and I will make sure that I honor my body, my mind, my spirit, honor my training, honor my, what I use to fuel my body so I can endure and be more strong for long periods of time. So that became a standard, after about a few months, being my duty station before deployment. It went from sergeants to asking me advice to captains to chiefs, to master sergeants, to my, various battle buddies in my rank and below. And before you know it, about, 4 months, 5 months of me being on base, everybody started walking around with the green. They started ordering the Supa Nova greens online. They started trying it out. A lot of my sergeants and captains would tell me their detoxing is helping them on the field. And then one time my commander called me in office and said, "Terrain, I'm looking around and in the battalion, all of these people walking around with this gallon of green. What's this?" And I started to, pass the wellness message on. So it was so amazing that for myself, me being Supa Nova Slom, me being a wellness warrior, being my mother's son, second generation vegan advocate, wellness advocate, to now go from being a community activist and a published author and an entertainer, later in my life just happened to just wanting to, snap myself into an opportunity to go to serve my country, just because I wanted to challenge myself. I just did it, and to bring me into that experience, I think that's what I wanted to show people, that no matter where you choose to go, always bring your authentic self into every opportunity, the military was going to only, I was only going to track who I was in the service, so I'm bringing myself to service to serve, and as a result, the military complemented who I